Step right up. Let's talk about this handy dandy grandy pitch people review. It slices, it dices, it hits all your vices. Let's talk about it now. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass. If you're wondering what this is an actual item that I won't say conned into, but it was an item that was included in something I purchased from a pitch person a few years ago. Figured it would be appropriate for this movie. The movie is called Pitch People. It's coming to digital on May 17th, 2024. There's a movie that is 25 years in the making. I believe it was finished 25 years ago. I don't think it was ever actually released, and now it has been remastered in 4K and it's coming out now. My hot take is I think you should watch it later. I liked the documentary. I thought it was interesting. It had a lot of really good personalities and some good pitches, but it also felt a little unstructured, which was kind of surprising given that the film is about people pitching things and trying to get you to buy products. But it felt a little unstructured. It felt a little jumbled. So overall, I think you should watch it eventually. It is interesting. Maybe wait for the price to be right on digital. So all that being said, I'm going to tell you a little about the movie. A few things I like, a few things I didn't like. Not really getting into spoilers. It's a documentary. There's not really anything to spoil anyways. So it'll be a short, quick, and spoiler-free review. So, like I said, Pitch People is a look at the pitch business. And if you don't know what the pitch business is, it's the people that sell you products that you probably don't need, but they make you think you need them. You've seen them on television. You've seen them on the boardwalk. It starts off, with selling on, I believe it's the boardwalk in Asbury Park, and then kind of moves through the history of different pitch people, different personalities, and kind of different tactics. But it's the people that sell you like the handy dandy Wonder Slicer or the, Ronco rotating rotisserie oven, things like that. It is a look into those personalities and also kind of like the history of the pitch business. So all that being said, things I liked about this movie. The first, I liked the characters. There are a lot of really interesting, fun pitch people characters in this movie. You get, some of the greats, I guess. I mean, I don't really know who the greats are, but it seems like they're the greats from the way the documentary goes. So you get some really good personalities. You get some really interesting, big pitch people that have been selling for years and years. You get to hear some of their stories and some of their like strategies and tactics and things like that. The second thing I love the demonstrations. It has demonstrations of actual pitches, and it is fun to see. It's fun to see kind of like how they work, and especially when you've got some kind of like voiceover of people telling you different parts of the tactics. It's kind of fun to see that then put in motion. It's a really kind of nice way to marry those two concepts and really kind of give you a look into what a pitch is like and how it works. The third thing I love, look, I love the products. Like there's a variety of demonstrations. There's also a variety of products, all sorts of different things that people pitch. All the things that you probably don't need, but they make you think you need. Right then and there, there's like a wonder sponge kind of thing. There's a duster. There's a lot of knives. There's cutting products. There's kitchen utilities, things like that. All sorts of things that you get to see in this relatively short documentary. And the last thing I loved the television part. Towards the end, it goes into like the television pitches, and I loved seeing that because you almost get a little bit of behind the scenes look. You've got people rehearsing for a pitch, and in doing that, you get to see some of the mistakes. You get to see some of the things that like are popping up. It is fun to kind of get a peek behind the curtain and see how those very, very polished presentations on television look when they are not so polished. So, like I said, I thought it was a watch later. Some things I didn't like about this movie. The first, it feels a little jumbled. Maybe like the way I talk. I don't know. It kind of doesn't have much of a structure. It kind of has an overarching structure of like the history of pitches and going through. I didn't feel like there was a ton of it when you were kind of like progressing through. It's like a lot of interviews from people. Sometimes they relate. Sometimes you get big characters that kind of seem to come in and out regularly. It doesn't feel like there is a ton of actual structure. I wish there would have been like, I don't know, chapters or themes, things like that to help really solidify how this documentary was put together. Because it is interesting. There's a lot of really interesting information in here, but it feels like you just kind of like, it's almost scattershot. You'll get like, talk about this product, and then you'll hear like a bunch of people talk and various things, and then you'll get introduced to someone, and it just really doesn't feel like there is much of an overall roadmap in this movie. And that kind of leads to the second point. I kind of already brought it up. There's almost no through line here. I mean, you got pitch people, but I wish that there was some sort of overarching theme or overarching message throughout. I mean, I guess I kind of think I know what the message might be, but it doesn't really kind of rear its head until the end. So while I was watching it, again, it just felt like it was just a bunch of information kind of being thrown at you without really a through line through it. So it's kind of related to the first one. I guess they're kind of the same point, but there's something else to bring up. And the last thing I didn't love as much, I wanted some sort of update because this movie, like I said, is 25 years in the making. It seems like, if it's 25 years, it seems like it was finished in the late 90s. They finally upgraded it to 4K and are releasing it now. But that means that the kind of content of the documentary ends in the late 90s. And it would have been nice to have, like, I don't know, 10, 15 more minutes of how that now translates into our modern times, because it feels like this movie's coming out now. They could get a few excerpts, maybe some information like how the internet has changed us, how people have updated and modernized with TikTok and things like that. That would be really fascinating to see, like, how the pitch has kind of evolved into like the way that our current media is with TikTok, or what I watch, Instagram Reels, the old TikToks, things like that. I would have loved to see a little bit more information, because they have the ability to. It's 25 years later. They don't have to like sit on the original content. They could put a little extra into it and make it more relevant for now. It was an interesting look, but again, it ends at the television era, and the television era isn't really how we live our lives anymore. And that, update thing also goes to kind of relating to modern times, because like I remember some of these pitches, watching them on television, but people who are younger, maybe not, they don't recognize these characters or these products or things like that. And so having something a little bit more relevant to them might also kind of give a better historical context to this whole movie, like connecting it all the way to our current times. So, all that being said, that is Pitch People. It comes to digital on May 17th, 2024. Like I said, I think you should watch it later. Wait for the price to be right, or maybe wait for it to come to streaming. It is interesting. It has a lot of really great characters and great products. So check it out eventually. And if you do, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you liked and didn't like. I would love to hear it. And thanks so much for watching. If you like this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.